on with it, please.
I'm back with the left. Two's getting joined with a star. And back. Three's get ready for a circle. Circle left. The other left then. And back the other way. Lines forward and back. Twice. Bottom couple, up you come. Bottom couple, up the middle. And down the outside. Top couple, and back with the left. It's a stars. Oh, you've got it. You're going to go home. Back with the left. Circles. And back. And lines. With the force. Lines forward and back. Bottom couple. Up you come. Bottom couple. Turn to the top and go down the outside. Top couple. Now you go down the middle. And everyone swing. Right turn. Right hand turn. To the left. And a star coming in. And back in. Circle. On the left. That's the lady on. The band of ladies in and clap. The men come in, shout. Back to a new partner. New partner. Take her for a walk. Turn on the right, into a circle, we'll start again. And again. Turn and clap. The men in shout. Back to new lady who's on your left. Swing the new lady. Put her on the right in the circle. We'll start again. Ladies in. And the gents. Back to a new lady. Take her for a walk.
Of the Wedfest of our lovely Carolyn and her Carriad James. For those who don't know us, my name's David, and this is with a funny hat on, with wife Val, and we are Carolyn's very proud parents. And this is a load of rubbish. Ages ago now, I was told I would have to make a speech, and the father of the bride's speech. Apparently the milkman couldn't make it for some reason. A wedding breakfast speech. This is a what? 8:30. Good grief. We shouldn't include anything controversial. As if I would say anything controversial. So that's all that lot out the window. In the past, I'd sometimes thought about making this speech, but couldn't have believed it would be in a teepee in the middle of a field in Wales. I think Wales is out there actually. I don't know whether the mist has come down or not, but anyway, here we all are, and we've come from all over the shop. That's Lancashire for anywhere actually. So exotic places such as Chorlton. I said exotic, not erotic. Accrington, London, Belfast, Bristol, Sussex, Ripon, Australia even. We'll have less of that, thank you very much. Yes, I notice you're not standing on your head, so, you know, that's a good. And lots of other places, of course. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for the effort of getting here, particularly in the recent weather, you know, typical Wales weather. And also for all the help that's been given to Cara and James to make this a bit of a do. Actually, it's more than a bit of a do, it's a great do. I'm sure you appreciate that. And I think you should all give yourself a clap. I think actually we should take a few seconds time out to think of all the people that should have been here but are no longer able to. So, you know, just think of, particularly the families, just think of somebody you wish were here, you know. But anyway, of course, you could have been elsewhere today. You could have been, well, it's Africa Day apparently, so if you're African, you know, you could have been jumping up and down and whatever. It's been the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. I don't know who's won that, but, you know, who cares? A Brighton Festival, if you happen to be from Brighton. The Edinburgh Marathon. Good grief. But most important of all, you could have been at the Transylvanian International Games. I believe they dug up some special guest to open it, some count or other, but I don't know who he is. But all you have to worry about here is me. And beware of the dragon, because there's one about somewhere. Okay? But actually, you're pretty safe because dragons don't like rain. He puts all the flames out. Pardon? I didn't hear that. Anyway, whilst I was preparing these rambles, I was getting a little bit sentimental, as you do, particularly when you're sozzled, which is most of the time with me. And I looked up our old photo albums. All you young people probably don't remember what photo albums are about, but... And I had tears in my eyes when I found a shot of our beloved Cara lying on the rug, dribbling and waving at the camera. What a treasure she looked as she struggled to stand and speak. She really enjoyed her 18th birthday. Seriously though, that's seriously serious. We think our daughter is lovely and loving, beautiful, clever, erudite, musically and artistically talented. These are all attributes she's inherited from Val. Here. It says here. Of course, Cara has always been independent, argumentative, stubborn and outspoken. And I've no idea where she got those from. But we love her to bits. And we're very proud of her. And now I've had to give her away twice. And she keeps coming back. I don't want a third time, thank you very much. Just when she's becoming civilised. Carolyn has always been quite shy, particularly when she was very young, but perhaps a portent of things to come was when she was born, which was close to the witching hour, and in the midst of the worst thunderstorm we've ever experienced in Sussex, as it was then. So it was very dramatic, and perhaps we shouldn't be surprised as the years went by when Carolyn came to love treading the boards. That was at school, in the village hall in Selsey, and more recently in the Bruises of Manchester, including some of dubious reputation. One memorable performance early on was when she aged herself 60 years to become Billy Lyre's cantankerous grandma in a school play. And that was really something, I'm going to tell you. But James, we've seen what the future holds, lad. Gradually, excuse me, this is Australian red wine for you. Carrot gradually became green, and still is, as you can probably see if she's somewhere down there, I don't know. Also, she became a veggie, though at the time she showed no interest whatsoever in actually growing them. Eventually, I think she will turn the whole of Chorlton into a giant permaculture farm. Can you just vision picking your own veg as you crawl along Barlow Moor Road in first gear? Actually, when Carolyn was a little girl, she had a favourite character on the old VHS, which young people probably don't remember, which was a talking compost heap, which for some reason lived in a cave. I never did understand that. I think it might have been Fraggle Rock, but probably people have got some other ideas about that. So that has some bearing on, I think, her inclinations as the years went by. Classical guitar followed, and more recently she's found a great voice, as some of you may have heard. And we're hoping to hear some of that later, hopefully with Jo, wherever she is, if she's still here, as a reunion of the Sweet Cordials, which you may have heard of. In further education, she became interested in installation art, and I will remember taking her to some of the very weird things available in London. That's art things, not anything else, by the way. I sort of went on my own to the other things. Particularly one exhibition in the Kensington Gardens, which amounted to a carousel of swinging doors, just like in B&Q. I don't think the attendant liked it much when we sort of started switching them around. I should explain that in real B&Q and home base, we used to do that between Carolyn taking a very keen interest in toilets and baths. No comment about that, but I don't know why that was. Carolyn's always had a good choice of words, some of them inherited from me, unfortunately, which we shan't repeat. But I remember when she saw her first Reliant Robin. Don't know if you remember Reliant Robins. But she said, "Look, Dad, a three-legged car." That was just last week. We've a lot to thank her for, actually, giving us so much love, widening our horizons, and in particular, making us appreciate how much we love meat. Don't get carried away, I might want paying for this. However, when she was 9 or so, she came home from a school lesson and started to nag me into giving up smoking, which I greatly benefited from later, and thank you, love, for that. It turned me into a wino, though. And I'm definitely not giving that up. And now she's given us a fine son-in-law, and before long our first grandchild, who is due in the middle of August apparently. Although if Carolyn and overdue library books were anything to go by, it could be nearer Christmas. So Cara, I was talking to this. So Cara, thank you very much for surviving the thunderstorm, and as a toddler diving headlong into Auntie Elma's fish pond. That's before she could swim. And thank you for your love. She has, of course, found a grand lad in James, my erstwhile sin-in-law. Some of you will have met him for the first time this weekend, and no doubt one or all of the best men will be embarrassing him in every way possible shortly. But I'd like to say that Val and I think he's great, and not just at sorting out our IT. So, welcome to our family, James. You might live to regret that. I do have a few observations about him. Apart from having a giant brain, he's a good sportsman. He's very athletic and a triathlete to boot. However, he should be aware that his new mother-in-law can go a lot better. She can get through a full marathon in 2 minutes flat. And a snicker you not, people who don't remember that. James plays frisbee, and I believe he's very good at various throws and set plays. Noticeably, the 1-2 kaboom. It's no wonder that Carolyn's got a continuous, frequent smile on her face ever since she met him. It's a bit difficult at Christmas and birthdays now to think of male presents when you've always had a daughter to buy for. So we've tended to major on do-it-yourself tools, as they've now got a great house to do up, as some of you will have seen. I don't know if our gifts have helped much yet, but I've heard reports of a lot of banging and screwing going on in Clovelly Road recently. Now, careful, I might come back and give you a second version of this if you're not. According to tradition, I'm now supposed to give Carolyn and James a sort of wisdom to take on board. Well, seriously, it's got to be always be best friends as well as lovers. Never go to sleep in anger, or perhaps that's angmering. That's a joke for the southern people. And to James in particular, I'd like him to remember 3 little phrases that got me to where I am today, in this field in the mist in Wales. And that is, yes dear, no dear, 3 bags full dear. Well, that's all. You can all relax now and take out your earplugs. But I'd like you to raise your glasses. That wasn't a comment in you raising your glasses. That's not your specs, by the way. And I'd like to give you a toast, and it is to Carolyn, James and Bump. All our love and best wishes for long, happy and healthy lives together. So, Carolyn, James and Bump. Cheers. And now I can get on and actually enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much. You got a good picture. The beautiful lady, young lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've got
There's a yellow thing around it.
I've got most of it.
It must recognise you.
As far as I can see. I might have missed a little bit of the first introduction.
Carolyn, I'm gonna get some film of Carolyn.
This isn't a very well prepared speech, but I'll try my best and I'll keep it short. And then I'm giving out prizes, so hopefully you'll just love what I was saying. I think it's true to say there comes a time for anyone who organises a wedding like this where you just think, why are we doing life? You can appreciate what is beautiful and special. As you can probably see, and trying to do a million things at once, as you can also see. Jamie's brave enough to go along with my crazy plans, well, at least most of them. And indeed, I feel that he enables me, he motivates me, he grounds me, and he nurtures me, as well as making the work that needs doing to manifest those things really fun. I can say with complete honesty that there has never been a morning since we got together when I don't wake up and feel immense gratitude and amazement that someone as loving and special as Jamie is my guy. So I'd like to make my first toast, if you get your glasses filled up, to my new hubby, James Leach. Okay, so for the second reason for this big day, that's every single one of you. For us, it was really important to make our vows in front of everyone we loved. I think that we both appreciate that a family is not just about 2 or 3 people. A family is a whole network of people, a community of like-minded souls and of friends who know you as you truly are. A family who share bloodlines and ancestry, and of people who share past memories. Of people that open up your mind to new things, and of people who make you laugh, who share fun times with you, who are on the end of the phone when you're having shit time, who lend you a hand when you need it. Oh God. A wedding and a marriage are a celebration of these things. It's a sharing of our hopes and dreams, our optimism and commitment. Although we can often be our own way, quite shy people, and we don't always say this very clearly, we want to take this opportunity to invite you to share more of our lives. We'll soon be having a little one, but we don't want to become a sealed unit. So come and visit us, come and stay in our spare room. If you're coming to Manchester, or come over for a cup of tea if you're local. As you probably know, if you know me, I'm often cooking way too much food, so you might as well come and share it. If this is the first time you've seen us in years, then get reacquainted with us, get to know us again. We have a lot of love for each other, but we also have a lot of love to share with all of you. Sorry, we're kind of weekend, so part of the reason we wanted to have a whole weekend of celebrations is so we could actually be able to sit down and connect with you properly. We also know how cool you all are, and we're excited to have you connect with each other. So that's why there's no seating plan or top table. Continuing on the theme of how cool you are, this wedding itself would have not been possible without substantial help of many of our friends and family, offering their time and skills and support. I'm really glad that we had this opportunity to bond with people and find out just how creative and talented and generous our friends are. So there are so many people to thank that James and I can split the task so it doesn't become like an Oscar speech. My first thanks goes to Joe, who made my incredible wedding dress. She was so organised. She had everything ready, and then suddenly she got the call. Don't cut the fabric, I'm pregnant. Well, thank you for making me feel so special and beautiful today, Joe. Thank you so much.
You look stunning.
Yeah, that's Maria, by the way. She's a lot of fun, you might want to chat to her later. Who else would I like to thank? I really want to thank the mums, the beautiful mums, Val and Nita. Anita was in charge of the beautiful flowers that we've got on the table today. It just helped in so many ways. Every single jam jar. I'm going to move this.
That way.
That way?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God, thank God. This is getting a bit much. Yeah, so also, I mean, one thing Anita did is that she managed to take the labels off every single jam jar that you see here. I also want to say a thank you to Val, who's sort of beautiful woman with a blue dress and an amazing pink fascinator. That is my mum. She chose all the lovely flowers, and she's come along to all of the craft days. That amazing bunting at the back, like with the woolen bunting, is my mum's, and I reckon she should start selling it on Etsy or something. I think she'll be taking orders soon.
eBay.
Yeah, eBay. I just want to thank quickly everybody that came to the craft days. Thank you so much, you made it really fun. We could have never have made 80 metres of bunting without you. Without going mad. Thank you to my beautiful, beautiful bridesmaids. Basha, Sinead, Sam, Ruchi and Maria. And to honest, special shout outs for Maria, who made the ceremony space happen, basically, at the last minute. Nearly didn't actually get dressed for like the ceremony. And for Sinead, who planned my amazing hen do on a narrowboat. There were a few fires, a couple of block toilet incidents, but apart from that, it was pretty amazing. And it made this amazing banner that you see behind me, which is just absolutely fantastic. Again, I reckon she should be taking orders for amazing banners. And I also need to say thank you to Camille for so much face painting. Yeah, I hope she's going to have a nice restful evening now.
So much faith as well.
Yeah, so much faith. Also to Hamish, Nell and family, oh my gosh, thank you so much for allowing us to come on your fields and do all these crazy things. They've just, Hamish especially has just given so much to us. You know, that man on the quad bike who took your rucksack up the hill, the intrepid Hamish. I also want to thank Kathleen, who made the cake at the absolute last minute 5 weeks ago. I was like, help me, we need a cake. And look at that, it's beautiful. I've no idea how the hell we're going to cut it into like pieces, but it is a thing of amazing beauty. Okay, so that is we pretty much finished. I just want you to basically raise your glasses and drink to yourselves, basically. Right, I've got if the beautiful Jamie would come over, I've got a couple of prizes. Well, I got a prize and a game. So the prize, you might have noticed there was some like welly decorating materials and
that was falling to bits, and I was hammering it in, telling myself this was the greatest weekend of my life. And Hamish really helped see me through those moments, actually. So thank you very much. You made this weekend possible. I'd also like to thank our dads, who've both been fantastic. David, who helped us get this amazing teepee that you're all enjoying now. And my dad, who's done tireless cooking. And I think most of the food is either gone missing or was eaten last night. But it was incredible for anyone who had a flapjack today or yesterday. My dad's to thank. I'd like to thank Mark and Phil, who's provided this amazing sound system. This was apparently the smallest and least powerful, cheapest one he has. I don't believe him. It's amazing. It's a great sound system, and Phil is doing a Funk and Soul vinyl set later on. That's going to be great. I recommend you stick around for that. That would be fantastic. Paul and Ben get a special mention for organising the food tent and tirelessly helping everyone get up there. Ben, very strict on his one-way system. Very helpful. Alan and Shelley, who helped us plan the catering for last night and the burritos. I wasn't there. I'd also like to thank the cooking team who worked tirelessly on that. I know Steve and Charlotte were organised, but I know there was a lot more people involved than that as well, in chopping and creating burritos for about 100 people. That was incredible. I'd like to thank the best men, who've been fantastic all weekend. They're the guys standing in brown jackets, and Paul's normally the one running to catch up. Chris, amazing celebrant at our ceremony, along with Basha, who was fantastic as well. Luke, who organised a fantastic stag do in Edinburgh. It was a brilliant time. and it's not every stag do that gets cooked food by a MasterChef finalist. We ate like kings. It was fantastic. Paul, who helped out in the catering tent, has worked really hard today and been a great brother. Sam for coming all the way from Australia, and that definitely deserves an applause. Michael for helping out all weekend and for a really kind, nice best man speech. He's gonna deliver. And I remind him that I was exceptionally nice when I gave his speech, so the many people who've organised activities and helped out and mucked in all weekend, you've all made it really special, and we couldn't have done it without you. And I know Kaz has already thanked you already, but it's been fantastic. I'd also like to thank our photographers, James and Joe, who've been great. They were great before the wedding. They've given really helpful input on how to organise things because they're wedding experts, and just have been fantastic all day. And I had in my original notes that I was going to thank the weather. I then crossed it out, and I've now circled it back because it just about rescued itself today, I think. When we looked at the weather forecast this morning, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. There were tears, and I'm just really glad it all turned out great and we could all enjoy the day to the fullest. And I'd just like to echo what Carolyn said about how thankful we are to all of you for making the trip to come out here and making the weekend so special, and that we really do want everyone to be a part of our lives going forward. Your invite to the wedding isn't just an invite to one event, it's an invite to be a part of the rest of our lives, and we want to see you all again and spend time with you. I know it's hard on a wedding weekend, but it's really been great, and I'm hoping to talk to people I haven't talked to yet, going on tonight, and so stick around. There are also some additional people I'd like to mention who we invited, but sadly we're not able to make it today. Firstly, a close family friend, Roger Bogg, who sadly passed away this time last year, and he's really missed. Florence the cat, who was unable to travel because she really doesn't like a cat basket. And we've also got, on a more positive note, we've got loads of friends who actually, well, some who were, but some who weren't able to come today because they're either at various stages of pregnancy, and that's really nice to think that at least the reason they weren't able to come is for such a positive reason, and we look forward to seeing the new arrivals soon. And there's of course one more person I'd like to mention, which is of course the new Mrs. Leach. Now, Carolyn she's told me this loads of times, that I've never written her a love letter. Now, in my defence, we're no longer in the 18th century. But I've nonetheless decided to remedy this terrible omission on my part by penning my first ever love letter. It's I hope I've got it. It's handwritten and everything. I did it last week, and in something of an experimental groom speech, I'm going to read this letter out before giving it to Carolyn. So, yeah, here goes. Dear Carolyn, let me take you back 9 years, almost to the day. It was my gap year, and it was 4 years before I ever met you. I was exhausted, having spent the morning trekking along the dusty basin of the Ugab River in Namibia. The sun was at its highest, it was too hot to trek any further, and so we were enjoying a lazy afternoon, sheltering from the baking hot sun. Being an earnest kind of guy, I was finding the whole trek experience very inspirational, and so I decided to write a letter to my future self to serve as a helpful reminder of what I'd learned about myself on my trip. I still have the letter, and it's full of little pieces of advice that I fully intended to follow when I returned back home. I won't bore you with listing it all here, But so you can get a flavour, here are some useful examples of the advice I gave myself. Walk more. Wash regularly. There are no showers out there. And perhaps my favourite, try to enjoy farting less than you do at the moment. I struggle with that one. And I've tried to follow these little gems of advice each series, and I recommend you do the same. While the above advice is no doubt both very useful and practical, there was one additional piece of advice I wrote that is perhaps more pertinent to this speech. I realise I'm going way out. And this additional piece of advice I wrote to myself 9 years ago is as follows. I said, do yourself a favour and get yourself a girlfriend and make sure that she has a good heart. This final, somewhat pithy piece of advice has stayed with me ever since I wrote it. And hopefully the reason I mention it here is obvious. Because as both I and all our friends know very well, there is no one in this world with a kinder or more loving heart than yours. I'm a lucky man indeed to be sharing my life with you. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I should probably mention that the aforementioned letter to myself also gently suggested that my hypothetical girlfriend of the future should be tidy, or, quote, at least as tidy as I am. Probably less said about this, the better. But I digress. I can't even begin to tell you how lucky I feel to have met you and to have your love in my life. You are beautiful, not only on the outside, although you are hot, even when pregnant, but also on the inside. I love you. I love your humour and your love in me. I love spending time with you, and I'm looking forward to finding out what the future will bring for us both. When I look into your eyes, I genuinely lose myself. I don't see anything or hear anything else in the world, to the extent that I sometimes even forget what day it is. To make our vows here in this special place, in front of so many of all our friends and family, it is something I will keep with me always. You are a talented woman. I love it when you sing. I love your creativity, your ability to find interest in the smallest little things. I love the songs you write, your green fingers, and I have never known anyone other than you to be immune to ice cream headaches. And as someone who suffers badly from ice cream headaches, I find this amazing. Having lived with you for 3 years already, I know that life with you will never be entirely straightforward. Indeed, that's one of the reasons I love you so much, as whether it's your inability to walk past a skip without peering in to see what you can find inside, or your burning desire for us to have our own chickens, alpaca and pot-bellied pig. I know that life with you will never be dull, and that we will always have adventures together. I know that sharing a life with another person is not always easy, and I'm sure that our life together will have its fair share of ups and downs, its hopes, its fears, its joy, and no doubt sometimes its tears as well. But I know there is no one I would rather have next to me in times of hardship, and there is no one that could help me enjoy the good times any more than you can. We have a big summer ahead of us, and as you know very well, our wedding is just the start. Once the wedding is over and all the tents and the teepees have been packed away, our minds will turn to the next big event in our lives together. That's right, the Football World Cup is 18 days away. And of course, after that, we are expecting the birth of our first child, which, if all goes well, will happen in the middle of August. I've no idea how good our parenting skills will be, and no doubt we will make many mistakes along the way, but I do know that we will try our hardest to bring up our daughter in a home in which she is loved, supported and cared for. And if we work together on this basis, my hope is that we won't go too far wrong with parenting. I'm looking forward to meeting our daughter for the first time. It is often said that the three things you should aim for most in life are love, laughter and happiness. I've had more of these and 3 things with you in the last 4.5 years than in any other period of my life, and it excites me to know that this is just the start. With lots of love, Jim Ball. You will be upstanding, or those who can be upstanding. I'd like you all to toast my beautiful bride, Carolyn O'Hanlon. Leach. Carolyn Leach. To Carolyn. And now it's...
Had to phone up a friend to ask how to make a cup of tea. Then, very excited, they discovered how to make a cup of tea. Phoned his friend round. Do you want to come over for a cup of tea? Yeah, I've got all the stuff. He unpacks the Sainsbury's bag. Out comes the tea. Out comes a... His friend points out, Jamie, you do realise this is loose leaf tea? There's things called tea bags now. And Jamie says, you never told me about tea bags. No, so, unfortunately, I went a bit wrong for him. Yeah, like I say, obviously working now, got a very successful career ahead of him, made partner, what a Jamie, and obviously doing really well, working with big companies, going out to America and all those things. But again, like I say, it's just an amazing journey. When I think back to primary school, and then the school he went to, Oakwood, he really grew up in the hood. Now been knocked down, renamed, and he managed to kind of get himself out of there through his own hard work and dedication. I remember him telling me about a French class he went to with a class of possible 30 children attending. 6 of them were actually there. And just amazing that he was one of those 6 that he was working through and went and worked through. And like I say, it was also a school where he was hit by a firework that was launched at him. He's come through those scrapes and managed to get himself out there. Now, it was interesting that he was doing the coin toss earlier, because obviously as a scientist and a physicist, he knows how the laws of physics works, and coin toss are obviously completely down to the physics of chance and probability. Or maybe not, because I was chatting to his brother, who said that Jamie, as a young child, refused to believe in the laws of physics and actually claimed that he would ever go for a coin toss with his brother, as his brother was inherently just a lucky man and he therefore would never ever win. How dedicated he is the house that he was in previously actually claimed that they'd done a little bit of damage to the side of the house and moving bikes and things, and they said, we're not giving you a deposit back. So Jamie, being that hard-working, dedicated man, most people personally, I'd be like, oh well, we've lost our deposit. Jamie, no, that's not enough. Jamie proceeded, obviously working long hours, very important job, hard-working job, has managed to prepare a 500-page dossier on why they should have their rent deposit back. Suffice to say, the deposit was paid in full, and they're not messing with him again. It's power to the people. Like I say, never too much on, and unfortunately, Isaac, my son's here, and Isaac was born 3 months trying to do a master's degree in law in half a year. Most people take a year, it just takes Jamie a year, and again, it's that hard work and dedication, absolute genius. And he's a man that can make friends, and I think it's a testimony to him, and obviously to Carolyn, just to see so many different faces, so many different friends, and just amazing how they've managed to kind of introduce us all, and the fact that we've got lots of new friendships to make. So, like I say, before I move on to the future, just Jamie and Carolyn. Keep the tumble dry, I advise you. Becoming a dad, I know he said that he's not sure and he's going to make lots of mistakes, but actually I think we all know that he's going to be one of the most amazing dads out there. I mean, what a guy to have as your dad, to be able to say, Jamie Leach is my dad. That's incredible. And, you know, if all else fails, there's always that career in quiz shows, so just to raise a glass, Jamie and Carolyn. Jamie and Carolyn. Right, how was the sweepstake? How did it do? No. That was another thing for Paul to organise, I don't think you got around to it.
I could hold you for